Welcome to the Node.js series. This is the continuation of Express.js. In this video, we are going to look more into middleware and see the router function as well as a Body-Parser. Body-Parser is nothing but a middleware that helps us extract or fetch data from a request body. Now, as we are seeing this basic server, let me expand the screen. Okay. Yeah. As we are seeing the basic server, we did this in the past video introduction to Express. And yeah, I don't see it necessary that we start from scratch in writing this same code. So if you haven't seen the introduction to Express, you can go and watch the video. But this is very simple. And now we are going to focus on middleware. What is middleware? Middleware is a function that performs some operations and pass on to another function the control. That's it. Every definitions you see on internet might be more complicated, but in simple terms, it is a function that performs some operations and pass on to another function the control of such an operation. So to see this in practice, we can come above our get method and say const const, and let us assume we want to have a password checking a middleware. For this, we can say maybe logger logger, and I will give an arrow function here, a rest and next next. So you might wonder, I've seen rest, but now we have a next parameter called next. This next is the controller. Like I said, after we carry on some operations, we need to pass control over to another to where in which we want to implement this particular middleware. That's why we have the next parameter in this case. So now let us assume we want to do a basic password check. So for this, we can say set a variable const and call this password password, and we can assign a string call password to this variable, and we can check a condition here and say if passwords not equals the string email email, we should perform some operations in here. So let us say we should display on our browser rest.send, and here we can pass in our HTML. So h1 say incorrect add ncorrect password incorrect password. Otherwise, we can console log dot log, and here we will say password 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 is correct, and then we call our next our next function, and this is how we implement a middleware. Let me go over this code. We have our function called logger. This is our function. It takes in 3 parameters, which is request, response, and the next control. We set our variable called password. Let's assume this password is from our database, because in the real world you are not going to set your password in this format. You have to do your cross check with maybe a database or another secure secured platform. But in this case, we are just giving this as a demo purpose. So we save or store the string called password into the variable password and check. Let's assume this is our database password. We are saying the password in the database. If the password in the database not equals to email, if it is not equals to email, we should send a response saying incorrect password. Otherwise, we should console log password is correct. So now nothing is going to happen if we save this program, because we are not making use out of this logger. To make use out of this logger, we can pass in lo logger as an argument to our app.get method. So now, if we save this, if we save these changes and then open our console, so yeah, we open our terminal and let us start our server. So for that, we will say nodemon server, and now our server is listing on port 3000. So let us open our browser. So Chrome, and then I'm by Chrome, Chrome, and yeah. So let us say localhost, and now you can see this is the home page. If we go back to our code editor, let's open. Okay. Yeah. So we have. So what is happening here is that let us say we want to, instead of having send file, let us remove this from here and put into here, into this folder. Okay, so let's make the changes back. Let us go over this. We have password is not equals to this, so this will be true, and then we should send this HTML to our. Okay, so now something is happening here that we are not seeing the changes, and if we save again, let us go back to our browser. We'll reload. We are seeing our previous display. This is the home page. This is the home page. This is displaying from this HTML file. If we come in here, we will see this is the home page. So this is the page that is displaying. So what can we do to solve this problem? Because this condition is not true, and if this condition is, or this condition here is true, if this condition is true, we want to run this code. We don't want to come below and then run this file or send this file to as a request. We don't want this, because look at this logically. Password is not equals to email, so we should say incorrect password. We should display this to our screen, our browser, incorrect password. Otherwise, we can print to our console and pass the control to this get method. Then in that case, we can have our index file displaying on to our browser. So in order to solve that problem, we can remove this from up the static file. We can remove this, because what is happening, this file, no matter what happens, is going to be core, because we are using app.use. We are using this use middleware, so automatically it's going to be core no matter what happens. So let us remove this from above and place this below, almost where we have our listing, app.listing, and let us save this. If we save this and go back to our browser, reload, now we can see incorrect password, because this code is running from top to bottom. This implementation is going to happen, or this logic. So if this is true, we are going to this is the value that will be displayed to our browser. Otherwise, we will send in the control to this get method. Then in that case, we can see our index.html file. So since we have incorrect password, that's why we see incorrect password is displaying. Let us go here and change this to password, password. Save this. In this case, we will see our file. Oh, we have some error. So path must be absolute. Okay, so we don't have the absolute path. So for that, we can say const path, and then require require path. So we have seen the path module. So in this case, we need an absolute path for this index page. So send file. I will just remove from here, and we can say path.join. So I want to join. Since they are requesting for absolute path, so we can say their name and then say public. Here we will come in and say public. Let us see. Okay, public public slash, and into public we have index.html. We can just say index. Save this and refresh. Voila. Now we have this is the home page because the password is correct. So if you input the right password, imagine this is a huge system or application. If you type in your password to log into maybe the dashboard, you should be able to see the dashboard if you use the correct password. Otherwise, you should see an error message, and that's what is happening here. If we have the correct password, we log into this home page. Otherwise, we should have incorrect password displaying to our browser. So this is middleware, and you can explore the Node.js documentations on middleware. There are a lot of cool features of middleware. You can play with that. Now let us move on to the Express router. So the Express router help us to write a cleaner code, because imagine you are building a full applications that have so many features: login, logout, dashboard, and etc. You cannot compile all of those code into a single file, which is the server. We need to break them down into chunks and take their various result from each file, and then send those results to our main server. So that's what we are going to do next. So for that, we'll create a file called, let's assume we want to create let us say we want to display or about page. Let's assume that. So for that, we can create a file, and here we will save file, and this will be called about.js. So about.js, we saw in the module video, it's the same concept that is going to apply here. We are just going to add some tweaking. So in here, let us say const express, and then require or import require, and then express express. And to use the to break this code down, if you notice, we are using Express into our main server, so we cannot use Express directly into another file. So for that, we can use something called const router, router, and then assign or initialize to express.router. So this is how we structure our files or our router files. So it's the same thing. Whatever operations you are carrying on in a server.js where you have app.get, and all of those things, is the same thing, but instead of app.get, we are going to say router.get or router.post. So now I would like for us to remove this about from here because we are going to implement this into our about file. So we remove this and come to about. Let us save this about. We can paste this here. So get dot app dot get. So instead of this app, we remove app and say router, router. So router dot get and then slash about and have everything as usual. So if you can recall from the module video, in order to use this router in another file, we need to export the file. So for that, we can say module module dot exports export, and then here we will say router. We save this. Nothing is going to happen. We have to input. So cons, and since this is about, we can say about and say require req require, and then we will say about dot a bou slash about. About. Okay, this is the file name. We are locating the file name since we are in the current directory. That's why we say dot or slash about, and then we save this. But still, nothing is going to happen even though we have imported. Let us go to our browser and check the about route. Here we have slash about. So let us go to our browser and test it. Nothing is going to happen. We will see a blank page, bout. We have cannot get about. It's because we imported this. We need to use this. So we have a middleware called use. We have been using it into our code. If you saw below, we have app.use. So it's the same thing. We need to use the middleware. So, or the importer module. So for that, we can say app.use. And here we will say the route is the home route, and then pass in what the name of this variable about. So about a bout. If we save this now and go back to our browser, we reload. Now we can see this is the about page. So this is how we use a router. You can do this for as many files as you can. Maybe you have another file called login registration or whatever dashboard. You can do the same process. So now let us look at Body-Parser. Body-Parser is a middleware in Express, and is used to Body-Parser is used to extract or fetch data from request body. For example, you have a HTML form, and in this form you fill in your last name, first name, and all of those data. If you are forwarding this data, if you click on submit, this data is going to be sent to a request. So the Express, the Body-Parser middleware will help us in order to fetch such a data, and then we can display onto our console or maybe store into the database or wherever we want to display such a data. So for this, okay, we can go to our index.html. Instead of just having this is the home page, let us try to create a form, and this form will have an action. This action, we can say maybe log RN, log in, and log in. And another thing we need to pass there is the method. So method we can say post, because we want to do a post request. There is a sensitive data, so we have post request. Let us just create a simple form. For this, we can say import input. So import text, and this text will be let us say name will be NAME, name, and PLACE placeholder we can say ENTER, enter name, and another one will be your setting the ID, but I don't think we will use ID for now, but let's just have ID. So we have text, import HTML. Okay, so let us copy this, and then we can change this to password, PASSWORD, and also enter PASSWORD, same here, PASSWORD. So now we have our form that is taking in our input, name, and password. So let us have a submit button. So INPUT, and here we can say submit or SUBMRT. So we have a submit button. So SUBMRT, submit. So this is just a very common or simple HTML form we have created. So let us save this and then go to our browser and the home page. Now we can see enter name, enter password. We want, if a user enter their names and password and click submit, this data should be displayed to our console. How can we achieve that? We can use the middleware called Body-Parser. So now we are in our server. Let us say to install middleware, the Body-Parser middleware, we need to come to our console, and let us close the terminal and clear. CLEAR, clear. Okay, so as usual, to install module, we can say npm I stands for install, and then what we want to install is body, BODY, parser, PARSER, enter, and wait for a few seconds. We have our Body-Parser has been installed. So now if we check into, okay, Body-Parser is installed. So now let's try to use the Body-Parser. So to use the Body-Parser, let's come above our code, and we can say app dot use, and in this case we will say a Body-Parser, but we install the module we need to input. So do not forget, whenever you install a particular module that you want to use in your code, you need to import. So for that we can say body, BODY, parser. We assign that REQUIRE, require, and here we will say body, BODY, parser. So now we will come here and say Body-Parser dot URL encoded, and here we will say extended, and set this to what? To TRUE, and then save this. So this Body-Parser will help us to extract the data that we want. So let us say we want to we want to display to our console this data after the user have inputted. So we can come into this home route. We are in the home route. Okay, so let us say if the user clicks submit, this should happen. So we can say const const, and then we will destructure the what we want to get from our form. So we have name and out of password. So we can say name and AME and then PASS password. So yeah, in order to destructure, we can say our EQ request or request dot body BODY, and yeah, request dot body. So in this body, if the user click submit form, the data that is going to be transferred from the form will contain name and that of password. So in this request dot body, it's going to take name, pass into this name, and password into this password. So and the goal here is to console log the result. So we can say console dot log and then pass in, or maybe we can have a screen. We can have a screen here called name, and then we can say okay, name and that of password PASSWORD, and here we will say PASSWORD, and we need to have data symbol. Yeah, so password. Okay, for now I would love to remove this logo middleware. Let's remove this logo middleware and comment this out. Okay, so PASSWORD P. Okay, gonna find password WORD. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so now if we try to save this and then go to our home page, reload, let us see, we can have our LOGG RN LOGGER logger, and let us uncomment this. It's safe. So I just want to make sure everything is okay. Okay, let us go over this. We say rec.body, pass in name and password, console log, name, password, and then we should have our index displaying. Okay, so use encoded. So let us say localhost. We are getting some errors. Let us see if okay, my bad. The server is not running. Everything is okay, but we forgot after installing the Body-Parser, we forgot to install the we forgot to run this or start the server. So for that we can say node1 and ODEMON and then SERVER server. Okay, so now server is listing on port 3000. Everything looks good. So we can come back. We have, this is the home page. Let us say my name is John, JOHN, and then let's just put full name, John Brown, BROWN, and password try try hack me, and save this. Now if we save, we are coming to this route, but that's is not really our concern. We want to see what has been imported into the console. So here we have undefined. That means the data is not, we are not receiving the data. Okay, man by, we have a post request, so we have to do this into post. I'm sorry that we did this into get, so we can just remove this and have app dot post. So now we are using new HTTP method called post, and this we can still have the same route, and in here we will call our EQ request and response, and here we can paste this and also say our ES response send, and here we can just have this. Yeah. Okay, so let us go back to our home page and then enter. So here we will put in John Brown again and put in our password, try hack me, submit this, and then password is correct. Something is happening. Let us try to debug that. So password is correct. That means everything is working from here. Okay, so home page. Okay, oh, so this should be log, L-O-G. What is the name? Our action, login. So L-O-G-I-N, login, save, and then we go back to our browser, home page, John Brown, and then try hack me, enter. Now if we go to our terminal, we should see something interesting. Everything is working fine. Now here you can see password is correct, and below in our console we have John Brown and password is try hack me. So this is how we use our Body-Parser to get the data from our post request and then display into our console. Now, yeah, so the name or the route here in our post request is the same route that we have in our HTML form. So we have action, we have /login. So if you click this submit, wherever you have this post request with the same route, that post request is going to be called. So that's why we call this. And then after we display to the console, and then we send back the file, the index.html file. That's why after we enter the value, you see a new page or display. So that was it for Body-Parser. And another thing that you might be confused with Body-Parser is that most people or some people will use a Body-Parser and some people will use a Express.url encoded. So just to make this clear, the newer version of Express.js, you don't have to install Body-Parser or Body-Parser. Automatically, Body-Parser has been embedded within Express.js. So we can remove Body-Parser and just have Express. So I just decided to show you Body-Parser first so that you can know that this is to make you understand that this is how things operate. So even if you see people using Express.js encoded or Body-Parser, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. But I think the newer version of Express comes inbuilt with Body-Parser. So for this video, I think we have achieved what we plan on doing today, and I will close up here, and in the next video we will be seeing another phase of the series. If you love the videos, I will highly recommend that you comment in the comment sections. Even if you doesn't love the video at that much, try to also comment things that I need to improve on. Bye bye.